Hello friends, today we shall be talking about immunity and the immune system of the human being and other organisms. So let's start with the word immunity. The word immunity is a very poignant term for each and every individual. It is inbuilt mechanism or it is acquired mechanism or a process by which you can defend, by which we can defend. We means the microorganism from the metazoan, the multicellular organism. So it is a simply defense mechanism by which we protect ourselves from any pathogen or disease causing bacteria, virus, any other fungal substances or toxins like that. So basically Edward Jenner, he was working with the immune response and the immune system for a long back in 17th century. So he was the father of, he is known as the father of immune system or immunity. So let's talk about, today we shall only discuss a subtopic, that is the types of immune system, and also we will try to connect the concept of the coronavirus infection. It is now a hot kick topic today's world. So how the scientists are working and how they are trying to defend this particular viral diseases. So we'll start about this immunity and we segregate into two different types. One is the innate or by birth. What does it mean? It is a congenital property of each and every vertebrates and also lower animals. So today we shall mainly focus the vertebrates. So innate or by birth immunity is the type of immunity or a defense mechanism that is inbuilt in your genome, in the genetic makeup. That means it is a non-specific to a variety of organism pathogens. So it is a non-specific. That means irrespective to the nature of the bacteria, virus, it will start defend or it will start protecting at the neonate level or the very fundamental level. But this immunity is not fulfilled, it is not complete, you can say, to prevent all types of disease and disorder. Why? Not disorder, we say disease. Why this is? Because there are so many organisms that is under the process of evolution. So like an organism born with a certain genetic makeup, or DNA, so it can protect a certain set of non-specific virus or bacteria. But as you know, it is the pathogens that is under the process of evolution, they will inbuilt or create a different mechanism due to the course of time, due to the mutation. So the more you progress in the line of evolution, the virus, they are getting potency to infect the host. So that is why this non-specific innate or the immunity that we are getting by birth, it is not complete. Still this innate immunity can be branched into two different basic types. It has two defense lines, that is called the first line defense and second line defense. Correct? Think of the skin like an organism whose size is less than the pore of the diameter, so it can easily invade inside the cell. So the organism that is bigger than the cell size, it cannot infect or invade the organisms or the host. So that is how we are protected. So like your skin, I should be writing here, your skin. Now come to the saliva. Saliva contains lysozyme, immunoglobulin A. So we can remember it this way. You draw a figure. A person is at the same time crying and salivating. So these two contain IgA molecules. So your tear and the saliva both contain immunoglobulin. So that's a protein that taking part in the innate defense mechanism. It is inbuilt mechanism. So you need not to inject something new out from outside. So it is the first line of defense. So your tear, saliva, then your stomach secrete hydrochloric acid. Mostly this first line defense come under the external. So like your cerumen, you sometimes clean your ear, so sometimes the black cerumen comes. That is a kind of a protector, the first line defense that will simply absorb those microorganisms. Next part is the second line of defense. Mostly these are internal. What does it mean? Any internal secretions along with the cell, that is WBC, macrophages. This will play role. Natural killer cells, cell that secrete interferons, all those set of chemicals, all those set of cells like Kupffer cell in the liver. So liver, Kupffer cell, liver, Kupffer cell. Then microglial cells in the brain. Suppose your brain is infected by some pathogens, so it will be easily engulfed or chewed up or destroyed by the microglial cells. So that is how these microglial cells are present for a specific immune purpose, because nerve cells have no immunity or that sort of mechanism by which it can destroy the micro. So microglial cells. So these are the most important first line defense mechanism. This is the innate mechanism. Coming under the second line defense, there is the internal. Now we shall be talking about the acquired immunity. So we can write it here. Acquired immunity. Now you can ask me that question, ki, why sir this coronavirus, this particular virus cannot be destroyed by the interferon protein? Because whenever you know this one, whenever a cell is infected by a virus, that healthy cell, when it is on the verge of death, it will automatically start secreting interferon. It is a globular protein-like structure that will stop the viral pathway or viral life cycle. Still, the scientists are working. That is the interferon beta 1A. This is the interferon. It has been tested in vitro to destroy the coronavirus or COVID-19. But the problem is that it is a very natural. So your cell will start secreting this one, it is natural. But when you come in the pharmaceutical lab, if you produce those things and if you're marketing those things, it's going to be very costly. It goes like for a weeks, it will be like $1,000s. So many of the people cannot afford it. So that is why it's a very costly, but still it can be used as a medication. Things are under research. So the thing is very specific. Interferon beta 1A, they have named this one, that will fight against the SARS and this one, COVID-19. Now, acquired immunity, it can be classified. I should clean this one. So let me clean it. So, acquired immunity, again, classified into two. So now we have done first line and second line of defense. First line is the skin, saliva, cerumen, tears, sebum, sebaceous gland that secrete those things, and then acquired immunity is a third line of defense. So when your first and second line are not sufficient to protect you or to withstand all the pathogenic substances, the poisons, the drugs or the organism, then this third line of defense has to take part. Like that is why we take vaccines for the diseases. So acquired immunity are of two different types. One is the natural and artificial. You shall be knowing this one. This is very simple. Natural immunity can be again classified into two different parts, active and passive, and artificial is also divided into two different parts, active and passive. So whenever you say passive, whenever you coin the term passive, it means your system is not responsible for the production of antibody. That means you are not producing any kind of globulin, immunoglobulin classes of proteins like IgA or IgG. Like your innate immune system, IgA is produced by the saliva and the tear. So it means it is your inbuilt mechanism by which you produce the antibodies. But in passive immunity, not a single case is there that a system or host, an organism produces the antibody. So it is either directly obtained from the mother by milk or by through placenta. That means you are receiving the antibody. Antibody is a molecule of 4 polypeptide. So this is the symbol for the antibody. Antibody belongs to the class of immunoglobulin proteins. So these are all globular proteins. So you are receiving those globular proteins directly from the mother. And another case is there that is artificial. It's a natural. You are obtaining this one from mother through placenta or by milk. So that is passive but natural. But when you are obtaining this antibody from a serum like horse or snake, You prepare those antibody in response or against that particular antigen in an other organism. Again you are taking out, like this is snake and like this is a horse. So you are preparing that particular serum in that particular vertebrate host, conspecific, and you are injecting that particular product, antibodies, to the host of the interest, like human being. So that is how your serum therapy is very important for the creating passive but artificial acquired immunity. So if you have a question, serum, that is you are taking serum antibody from the horse or snake, sorry, so it is a passive artificial acquired types of immunity. If you say mother's milk, it is a passive because you are not producing the antibodies, but it is a natural. So it is a passive natural acquired immunity. That is the third line of defense. So all these four are third line of defense. Tell me the very basic thing of active natural. You get infected by COVID-19 or some SARS. Hope we won't get infected by those things. Anyway, so infection. Infection is important in concept of immunology, that infection is very important to create active artificial, sorry, it's a natural acquired immunity. So it's a very natural method of creating immune system against a certain, like some part of the bacteria is acting as an antigen and your body is producing antibody. Now here is the case where you are responsible for the production, your genome is responsible for the production of this particular antibody by the VTJ recombination techniques. You know, B plasma cell that produces the antibody by a method called VTJ genetic recombination. VTJ gene recombination, by which it can create a diverse classes of new antibodies against a diverse classes of new antigen. So that is how we are coping up, we are adapting ourselves against new set of virus. If we cannot adapt, then the host will die by the infection of, like, that is why the death toll is very striking for the like novel coronavirus or novel SARS, MERS, like Zika virus. So these things are there when your system is incapable to withstand those particular infection. Now last part is the artificial active acquired immunity. So last part is the artificial active immunity by vaccination. So let me draw it here. So like that, vaccination method. So we can write it here, vaccine. It could be an oral vaccine, it could be in the injectable format. So vaccine, what it does, it doesn't contain any kind of antibodies. It contains attenuated vaccine, attenuated pathogens, or heat killed or half killed pathogen, or it can be a part of the pathogen. We know that the different classes of vaccines are there. Primary vaccine, the first line primary, then second type of vaccine. So either you can use the total attenuated pathogen, or you can use the part of it like polysaccharide. So in that case, a very small fragment of the bacteria can act as a pathogen. Now that will create a set of antigen presenting cells, macrophage, those things will be activated. This is a very complex mechanism inside the human body. So many cascade chain reactions occur there. So that is how your system produce antibody against so it is kind of a mock test. You're preparing for the final test, so your system get accustomed, okay, this is the things that should be looking like. So it is a molecular memory that is being created by this vaccine. Now again, when the original pathogen, when you are infected by the original pathogen or virus, now your system can withstand, your immunity is capable to fight against that particular disease. So that is how the total system works. So now if there is any issues regarding anything, come to the last part of this video. Some practice questions are given. You have given some set of cells and system. You have to identify this belongs to which kind of your immune system. First is the macrophages. Definitely you know it is your innate immune system, as it is from the internal, so it is a second line of defense. Natural killer cell, it is also your innate, so it is also from the second line of defense. Saliva, it contains lysozyme and IgA, so it is also innate, but it is the first line of defense because it is external, like the sebum or sweat or cerumen, like that, tear. Complement system is another very interesting system that will rupture the bacteria. So it is your internal system, so it is an innate, but it is a second line of defense. Interferons that will interfere the viral pathway, it is a protein, so it is your innate, natural, but it is also from the second line of defense. Vaccine, this is not innate, so it is your acquired way. As this vaccine producing antibody, so it is a natural, sorry, it is an active artificial method. So this is how the things works. If you have this kind of question, if you have to identify which molecule is or which cells are taking part in which kind of immunity, you can answer in this way. So that is how the thing works. So thank you for listening.